So as of today, there are only 15 days left until Halloween. And in case you haven't noticed, all that's in the stores right now is Christmas. Really, you don't need the store for decorations because you're probably just going to overpay anyways. And why do that when you can make your own for significantly less? The dollar store is your friend. Use it. You know who's not your friend? Kroger. Nobody really wants to pay $30 for a sparkly pumpkin that doesn't even smell like a pumpkin. So instead of spending $30 on one Halloween decoration, I'm going to show you how to make a 3-piece Halloween candle arrangement for under $20. So here are a couple things you're going to need for this project. One large vase, $1. One small vase, $1. Another small vase, still $1. Halloween ribbon, $1. Orange streamers, 50 cents. Cheapy little candles to put in the small holders, also $1. This candle smells like fresh linen, $1. You know it's not $1? Sticky stuff. Okay, it was $3.99, but still cheap. So that actually brings our total to around $11. Now you're probably thinking, that doesn't seem reasonable. Watch this. Now ideally, if you have these items around your house, you don't even need to spend any money at all. You don't necessarily have to use jars you got from the dollar store. If you have old mason jars or old spaghetti sauce jars, those are perfect too. So the first thing we're going to do is cut the streamers to fit the length of the largest jar. Just tear off this little sticky end here. Okay. I'm going to start at the bottom and leave just a little bit of room underneath to stick it on later. And pull it all the way up to the top. I'm going to line it up here with the top of the jar and cut with just a little bit extra. You can always trim it off if there's too much. Now that I have my one piece to measure with, I'm going to measure all the other pieces against the length of this one. I'm going to keep measuring until we go the full circumference of the jar. So I've cut 10 orange strips of equal length, and then we're going to add these around the edge of the largest jar, and whatever we don't use, we can put towards the smaller ones. So now we're going to use our decoupage. I have a satin one, but really you can use anything that's going to adhere these two surfaces together. So this is pretty much a lot like rubber cement in that you stick it on both the streamer and the surface in order to apply it. So I'm just going to put a thin coat over the streamer. Start by attaching it to the bottom and then working my way up. Just going to dab a teensy bit on there to start with. Stick those together. Actually, I'm going to put something down on my desk so it doesn't get glue all over it. And I'm just going to continue to apply the glue up the length of the streamer. Dab just a little bit onto the glass. Starting at the bottom, carefully push it up. It's okay if there's a couple wrinkles in it. And you don't need to put this on too thick, or else you risk tearing the streamer. A little bit does stretch pretty far with this stuff. And then we'll trim all that excess off at the end. So the next one I'm going to put on is going to overlap just a little bit with this one. So here we have one completed jar. I ended up using only 8 out of the 10 that I cut. So then we can use those leftover ones on the 2 smaller jars. So I'm just going to start here and cut up against the edge. So before we add anything else to this one, we're going to let it dry because it's still pretty wet and sticky. If we try to put any ribbon on it, it's probably going to tear the streamers. So I'm going to put this one aside while it's drying. And then repeat the same process with the little one. So we now have 3 lovely orange candle holders. The next thing we're going to do is add our pumpkin ribbon to the largest of the 3 containers. You want to make sure you give yourself enough extra in order to tie it off. So the next 2 little ones we're going to make into pumpkins. So I'm just going to draw some little triangles for eyes. And then cut those out. And this is just an old piece of scrapbook paper. But you can really use marker or anything else you have lying around the house. And then I'm just going to attach those with some more of the glue. So the only thing we have left to do is add some candles and light them up. And there's our lit Halloween display.